Hello, everybody's there. All right, so let's get started. It seems that Twitch is not working, but Twitch never works anymore, so I don't know why I'm surprised at that. Content, yeah, error 5000, content not available. I tried. Sorry. Anyway, so today we're going to be getting started on an 820-4924, and the issue with this board, as you can see, is that it's only going to be giving me about 3 volts on the DC input if I plug in a charger. So let's get this show on the road here. Let me just make sure the chat window is above everything else. I don't even know why I bother streaming to Twitch anymore, since it doesn't seem to work, but oh well. So I'm going to turn on my meter, and it looks like voltage is 3.174 volts. And as you can see, or not see with this crappy camera angle I have until I get my longer HDMI cable, I've got no green light. Let's see if I can show you the no green light on my microscope. So this is, see, no green light. Bam. Let's see the new floor. Let's see. This cable is literally short enough that I don't think I can make it. Let's see if I got. This is the new floor in all its glory, baby. Look at that floor. I'm going to have my second little mini camera by me, but I have to fix the HDMI port for a second time. Paul was kind enough to fix it for me, and I fucked it up again like an idiot. So, that's next. So I'm going to have this little mini camera that I can kind of move around if I want to show you stuff that's on the floor or on the desk. All right, so if I measure DC in, I get 3.1 volts. Let's show you that on the schematic here. So this here is where the DC in jack for the charger plugs in on J7000. Now, one thing to realize with this board, and with these chargers in particular, is they're not going to output voltage if they don't see a load. There's really no point in this charger putting out 18 volts if it doesn't see the load of the system. And this 18 volts over here is going to go to 2 places. The first place it's going to go, over here, PP18V5, is it's going to go to this upper section over here, where it then goes through this transistor, to go to here, to the input of the PP3V42 power circuit. So the first place that this goes is the PP3V42 power circuit, 3.42 volt G3 hot supply. Let's see if I can get that a little bit better on screen for a moment. Zoink. And there we go. All right. So over here, this is DC in. What's up, fun charging problems? Hello to Colin. Thank you for the $2. So PP18V5 is going to go through this fuse, go through this transistor, and then go into the 3.42 volt power supply. So that's one area where the 18 volts is going to have a load. Now the second place it's going to have a load, if we follow, PP18V5 DC in fuse turns into PP18V5 DC in con. Let's just take a look on the board view, since that's going to make it a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to board view. We go over to the board view, and if we click here, that goes to a fuse. After the fuse, it's going to go to the rest of the system. Now it's going to go to Q7180. So if you look at Q7180, hey, what's up, Chris Law? I didn't recognize you since you changed your name. I was wondering, who's that mod that's called BNC Connection? Anyway, so if we go over here, this is Q7180. Q7180 is going to be what allows the charger to go through to the PP bus G3 hot creation circuit. So this page is where was where the charger is going to 18 volts, is going to create PP bus G3 hot, 12.6 volts for the system to work. This is a buck converter, and Q7180 sits between the charger and that buck converter. Now, which one is more likely to fail? PP3V42, which is a 3-volt power line that powers almost nothing in the system besides the SMC and a sleep sensor, and maybe the clock circuit, or PP bus G3 hot, which powers the entire system. My bet would be on what failed, being the PP bus G3 hot transistor, because that is going to be what sends power to the entire system. So let's try repealing and replacing Q7180 and see if that fixes it. I'm going to find myself Q7180 and go from there. YouTube or Google just changed my name one day. Well, interesting to find that out. Anyone here start with iPhone boards and add working on MacBooks? I imagine it's about the same, just wondering if I could run into any issues adding them. I think it's a lot of the same mindset. You probably got to have a little bit better soldering if you work on iPhones rather than this stuff. Had a strange issue on an 820-2849, C9560 leaking to ground, which is odd because this board doesn't have that issue. Measured 0.54 in diode motor before replacing the cap and 0.150 after replacing it, and the board works now. Well, that's interesting that you're getting, you're saying it's leaking to ground, yet your resistance or voltage drop to ground was higher with the leaking cap than with a non-leaking cap. That seems kind of weird. Also, thank you for the $2. So let's get started with my microscope here. We're going to find Q7180 on this board, which is located right over here. Let's get this adjusted. Isn't that a nice little pretty microscope camera? Isn't that a pretty little microscope camera? If only the Twitch viewers could see it. Sigh. So sad. So sad. Someday Twitch will be made great again. 5,000 content not available. Oh well. So, let's get started. I got my fume extractor on. Got my quick. Got my flickering lights. Oh yeah. Some nice flickering lights. Let's get this shit off the board. It was a pretty microscope camera. This is a pretty microscope camera. Bro, I have question like how much do you charge for fixing a Mac? Bro, I have website. For any bro that have question, bro's website have answer. I don't remember all the exact measurements. All I know is the line was shorted, someone says. How is the quick so far? Well, it still works. So that's good. And of course, the board that I grabbed does not have this specific transistor on it. I have stolen it. Excuse me. For the person who asked where I get my schematics, I get my schematics from the internet. The internet. Internet. It's a great place. People sharing all types of crazy stuff on the internet. Let's get rid of that lead-free stuff. Combine it with some leaded to make it easier to remove. Kiss that lead-free solder goodbye with some soldering wick. Just remember, Goot Wick is the official desoldering wick of iPad Rehab. Where did I put my cutters? Never clean up your office, because when you clean up, you won't be able to find stuff anymore. Here, cutters. Here, cutter. There we go. Right over here. All right. That's good. Got myself a working alcohol dispenser. I'm loving this new office. I'm loving it. I have a renewed joy for coming to work now. I should have done this a long time ago. Granted, it was several $1,000s, but I still should have done it a long time ago. Sometimes you gotta just make your living area a little bit nicer. Or working area. It's worth it to put the effort in. Every day someone asks about schematics, lol. Goot wig or goot shit? I take it there's somebody in the chat that doesn't approve of my endorsement of goot wick. Don't be jealous just because we got the superior wick. Okay, so the board I grabbed does not have that. Now I've got my donor boards arranged in slots now. Oh yeah, we fancy. I can't show you until I get the HDMI port on that camera fixed again. I feel terrible. Like, Paul just fixed that a week ago, and I fucked it up already. I suck at this, but I will get that fixed, and I'll be able to show you some other angles of the office. I also got to get myself a USB multimeter. Somebody linked me to this Uni T one, and they actually showed it working, and then I Googled it just to see what people said on the internet, because you never know what people say on the internet. And the first thing I found when I Googled that exact model multimeter was a 30-minute review with Dave Jones explaining why it's a complete pile of shit. So we're still working on the whole getting a USB multimeter that shows up on screen. A lot of people have been recommending me these Bluetooth ones that show up on your Android phone. But when I say on screen, I mean on computer screen, not on Android phone. Let's not burn the phone. As much as annoying as it may be to answer sometimes, I shouldn't burn it. Yihua 992DA opinion. I've never used it. It doesn't sound like the name of a company that I would trust. The bathroom door fix was free, says Paul. Oh yeah, you guys, just in case you didn't see the bathroom door, I'm going to be uploading that in a separate video. We're going over a giveaway that I'm doing. But if you see, fucking piece, yeah, the oven's in the way. That's my bathroom door. Eh? Eh? Courtesy of Paul S. That's right, Paul S in the chat fixed my bathroom door. Is that and added the rack that you're going to see in the next video. Paul, I fucked up my camera HDMI again. He's going to kill me. Okay, so let's see what we get now that we replaced the transistor. We gave it some time to cool off. I'm going to plug in our charger. And does the light turn on? Of course it doesn't. All right, let's continue our work then. Let's continue. So next crackpot theory. Fluke USB, big money. Yeah, but yeah, it's. I don't know if I want to spend $600 on a meter though. And we're still getting 3.1. Fuck. Could it be? It couldn't be a blown fuse, could it? We got 3.1 volts on both sides of the DC-in fuse. Fuse is 1 ohm of resistance. DC-in fuse's resistance to ground is 393,000 ohms. In before DC-in board troll. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. No, F that. We're going to figure that out. First, I got to get myself a drink of fresh water. Alex Jones is going to be mad at me. I'm drinking fluoride. Sorry, Mr. Jones. Let's find myself a DC-in board. I'm going to get a second one because I'm probably getting trolled. So, do you think it was... DMM manufacturers ripping people off big time. Serial and Bluetooth should be standard in 2017. Yet even basic B&K Precision 393 is $200. Huh. Honestly, $200, I'll take it. Let's see. B&K Precision 393. I'll pay. I just don't want to pay for that stupid little serial cable to USB bullshit. So is this here Panzer? That one that you just brought up, is that real USB connection or is that serial to USB bullshit? All right, so it looks like it's not a DC in issue because I'm still getting the same lack of a light. Oh no. And 3 volts on input. All right, well, let's look at what's going to control this transistor opening. Let's also see if that transistor is opening. So if we were to look right over here at this area that's going to control everything, we would see we have a chip. So when this is the transistor that's needs to open in order for the charger to see the system. So I'm kind of curious what I get on R7120. So if I don't get anything there, that would mean the transistor is not opening at all. So let's find that. So R7120 is going to be this funky looking thing over there next to it, right here. So I'm going to plug it in and measure voltage on that. B&K Precision 393. And if that thing works and I can get the app to show, the stuff to show up in Open Broadcaster, I'll pay it. $200 is a serial to USB. Oh, fuck that. No, I'm done with no. I'm not installing serial drivers for $200. That's the thing. I have no problem paying good money to get the meter that will attach properly, but $200 for some serial to USB bullshit, I'm not doing that. Because like today it works and tomorrow it doesn't, and today it works and tomorrow it doesn't. On this computer it works, on that computer it doesn't. No. It's 2017. I can't do that. I'm not torturing myself with that garbage. But anymore. There's got to be some company out there that has some sense of shame that wants to create a real meter. When Dave Jones's Bluetooth meter shows up, I'll hook you up with a GUI if it doesn't already come with one. My computer doesn't have Bluetooth. It's my desktop. Thank you for the $2, by the way. My desktop doesn't have Bluetooth, so I need a wired one. And all the Bluetooth ones appear to primarily work with phone apps. Okay, so it looks like that transistor is not opening because it's only letting out 0.2 volts. Let's see if you can see that here. So on the output of that transistor is 0.2 volts. So, All right. Now, if this is not opening, we have to check what's at pin 3 and pin 6. So this is 2 P-channel MOSFETs over here. So if you look closely, Q7180 is a combination of 2 P-channel MOSFETs. Now, if the charger from adapter is going to be 18 volts on the source, in order for the voltage to flow from the source to the drain, the voltage in the gate has to be lower than the voltage that's on the source. So we have R7185 taking the voltage from the source and putting it to the gate, which will ensure that this never opens. But wait, there's more. R7186 is going to turn it into a voltage divider. R7186 goes between the gate and ground, but before it goes to ground, before R7186 can go to ground, it has to go through ISL 6259, which will give it a path to ground if it thinks that the charger should send voltage to the machine. So in order for this to work, R7185 and R7186 have to work as a voltage divider. Now, you can have several problems in the system. A resistor can be bad, this chip can be dead, which sends it to ground, or this chip could just not be telling it to go to ground because it's doing its job. Maybe there's a short circuit of some type and it doesn't want it sent to ground. So, let's see. USB Bluetooth dongles are hella cheap. Yeah, but I'm just adding shit on top of shit on top of shit. Just give me some. Give me a multimeter that just goes bling and shows me on the screen. I'll pay $200 for it if it's not that RS-232 thing. Just, I'm sad that my tech power doesn't work anymore. Okay, where was I? So let's check out what's going on with pin 3 and pin 6. So pin 3 of this IC, I can measure on the bottom of these two resistors over here. So I'm going to try doing that right now. And I'll read you the voltage that I get on the meter in a moment. Okay, so I get 3 volts. So it's sending the same. That's the interesting thing. So it's not really doing any dividing, which it should be. Now the ISL 6259 could be. There's a number of things that could be going on here. So let's go for the ones that are most obvious. R7186 is bad. R7186 would be the second resistor in the voltage divider, which would be responsible for lowering the voltage, and it's 332 kiloohms, right in spec. Next up, maybe our current sensing circuit is bad. I can't re-explain the current sensing circuit in its entirety because it's boring the 900th time. But long story short, there's going to be a voltage drop across this resistor, which is where the charging power goes through. This chip is going to read the voltage drop across the resistor and use that to tell how much power it thinks that the charger is using. And it needs to have R7121 and R7122 to connect it. So this chip doesn't attach directly to the current sensing resistor. It has 2 10-ohm resistors in between it. And we are going to see, we are going to check if that has died. So now what I can do is I can check the resistance between pins 27 and 28, and that will tell me the resistance of the entire circuit. So I should get 10 plus 0.02 plus 10. $21 ohms. Shit. That's no good. I mean, that's good. That's a good measurement, which means that's not the problem. Which is not good because that means the problem is going to be something much more convoluted, confusing, and sucky. Yeah. How does that ISL 6259 look? It looks good. Now what I'm curious about is to see if this would function off of a DC power supply in contrast to it functioning off of a regular, but I unplugged my DC power supply. Aww. And I unplugged all my MagSafe connectors from it. Blech. Cleaning and moving sucks. Let's see, do I still have those hanging? Here, fake MagSafe.
What are you looking for?
My cut up MagSafes.
Out there?
Hmm?
I would assume it was next to the power supply.
YTDH said, I'm looking to make my own USB OTG cable that's male-to-male micro-type USB, but the one thing I know is the pinouts, but the one thing I'm unsure of on is USB-like networking, i.e. one side needs to be wired up different from the other, or is it the same? I think they're the same. I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm 99% certain that they're the same. Maybe Panzerfin can answer. He's smart. Thanks for the vids. Bless Keck, says Chase with me. Thank you for the $1, Mr. Keck. They are rolled up on a shelf under the oven. Okay. Here we go. All All right. Bazinga. Yoink. I'm going to give Paul a heart attack as I end.
Oh.
Oh. Help. Don't run away.
Paul's gonna kill you.
He probably will. It's a monster. Let's see it. I also have to see which is the positive and which is the here we go. So this is the negative is on the left. The negative one is on the left. Follow all the way back. The negative one is on the left. Negative one is on the left. And attach it to power supply. Dear God, this is heavy. Okay, now negative is on the right. This is some professional looking wiring, I gotta say. Now to plug it in. Flip this on. Okay, voltage 18.5. Current 10.238. All right, take this, mofo. And on. All right, so with that on, it's drawing 0.03 amps, and we get nothing. Okay, so 0.03 amps, and no power rails are present. Whoops. And probably should be using something other than a shitty folding chair to hold that. We'll just take that out of view so you can't see. It's not a screw up if you can't see it. Huh. I appear to have shorted something. Ah, fixed. All right. Okay, now it's drawing 0.5 amps at 18 volts. So it appears that this is capable of turning on from a power supply. Let's just confirm that by checking to see if CPU vCore is present. Why does she get a smaller suitable bench power supply? I bought them, but they're on the way. So I gotta wait for them to show up before I can use them. So I get 1.7 volts on CPU vCore. 1.7 volts in CPU vCore when using a power supply. But if I use a shitty old MagSafe, . P50 still alive? It is. I actually got it fixed by Lenovo, believe it or not. Now if I use the regular old MagSafe, I am getting CPU vCore. So there you have it. Really? Really, you just fixed yourself. Oh, that's sad. Okay, so the board did not work. Then I replaced the chip that I thought would be the issue, and it still did not work. And then I attached it to a bench power supply, and then it worked. And then I attached it to the original MagSafe, and then it worked. So what did I do to fix this? I have no idea. Was I the one that fixed this? I have no idea. And with that, we move on to the next board. Hey, what do you want? What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? I have no idea why that happened. You know this will return not working. Yeah, but well, what to do? What to do? So now we're going to find another motherboard. This is one that I don't think I have a board view for. This does not have a board view. This is an 820000138. Now, if anybody here has an 820000138 board view, it would be very immoral and unethical for you to email one to help@rossmangroup.com. That's HELP@ROSSMANNGROUP.com. I do not want you to email your board view of the 820000138 board to help@rossmangroup.com, because that would be wrong. And I totally would not delete the email and all traces of it as soon as I removed it to ensure that you wouldn't get in trouble, because that would also be very wrong. So let's check out what's going on with this one. So I attach it to the power, and I get nothing. So I'm going to open up the schematic for an 820000138 board, but I'm going to open up the board view for a 00163 because that's all I have here. And at one point in time, I paid for a subscription, not for a subscription, for a membership to a site that gives out board views and schematics, and they recently banned me, so I'm stuck. Let's see. Yeah, so for the time being, we're going to be using a board view for an 820000163. Not much I can do there. So the first thing I want to do, if we don't have a green light, is check PP3V42. So where would PP3V42 be on this board? One way to find out. We're going to pray and hope that it's in the same area that it is on a 00163, because I don't have anything better to check with. You can use board view for 8203662, which is very similar. It's similar in some ways, but not in the ways that are important, sadly. Quite a bit has changed. Check messages. Do you mean YouTube messages, Twitch messages, email messages? I have forum messages. I have so many ways to get messages. That's I have a schematic, just no board view, sadly. All right, so we're going to check and see if PP3V42 isn't around the same spot. So that's this. We're going to have this big inductor. If I move over the microscope, we'll see that it does look like PP3V42 is in the same spot. And it does look like we get 3.4 volts. So that's present, but we have no green light in the charger. So let's follow through. So what's going to create a green light on the charger? Well, the green light in the charger is going to be created by the one-wire circuit. The one-wire circuit works by allowing the charger's adapter sense line to talk to the SMC. So adapter sense, external, talks to the SMC, internal. Now, in order for this chip to work, it has to get 3.42 volts at its VCC pin. It's going to get that 3.42 volts from U7001. U7001 is the logic gate. If SMC BCACOK is present on input 1 and 2, we are then going to get PP3V42 output on pin 4. So let's see if we have voltage on pin 1 of U7000 now, shall we? So if we look for U7000, it's going to be on this other side of the board. Like right here. Now, pin 1 is going to be this pin over here. I'm going to measure that and read you the voltage since you can't see it. And the voltage that I get there is 0.000. So let's work backwards. U7001, let's see if it has voltage on pin 1 and 2. That's going to be required for it to open and send voltage to U7000. On pins 1 and 2, we get 0.001. Now let's see where SMC BCACOK comes from. SMC BCACOK is going to come from, I believe, U7100. Ahem. Really? Okay, you're going to make me type it. Now it's pulled up by R5187. R5187 is probably going to be hidden somewhere. And it sure is. It's right under the SMC. And with my luck, it's going to be under that little bit of underfill or whatever. And here it is. So in order to properly measure this resistor, I have to remove some annoying-ass underfill. Thank you, Apple. Okay. What's the best place to start when trying to learn this stuff? I would suggest my YouTube channel. So I'm not really heating to solder or anything. I'm just heating to kind of make this more easy to remove. Bam. So let's measure R5187, because that's going to pull up SMC BCACOK. When we measure that resistor, we get a measurement of 98 kiloohms, and the schematic says that it should be 470 kiloohms, which means there may be something else in line there. I am measuring a resistor in line with other stuff, and that, no, never mind, we're actually getting 470 kiloohms now. Yep, 453 kiloohms, schematic says 470, that is close enough, that is not our problem. Now let's check where else SMC BCACOK shows up. SMC BCACOK is going to be also controlled by U7100. U7100 over here says SMC BCACOK out. And if we look by the ISL chip, there's a bunch of flux because either somebody else already replaced it or I already replaced it since I had this open. Roar. All right, so another confusing one. So let's plug it in, as the Glade commercial would say. Check your book face message. Ah. My book face message. What's this? What this? This board view? Hello. Okay, proper board view. Ka-ching! God bless you, random anonymous person. Okay, we now have the proper board view. So let's take a look through. So in order to get SMC, BC, ACOK on output, we need charger ACN and charger DCN on input. So let's measure pin 2 and pin 3 of U7100 and see what we get. So this is U7100. Now pin 2 over here should give us 16 volts since that's coming directly from the charger. And when I measure that, I get 17, which is close enough. Pin 3 has a voltage divider over here, so I should be getting between 3 and 4 volts on pin 3 for charger ACN. And I get 4.8, so that is doing its job. And on pin 14 for SMC, BC, ACOK, I get 0.001, which is interesting because all the conditions are present for me to be getting that. So let's just check a couple of other things here. So let's first off make sure that we're getting on pin 19 and 20 PP5E1. Yeah, so that's going to be over here. So it's blinking between 0.6 and 1 and 5. That's interesting. Now, is R7101 measuring what it's supposed to measure? That's supposed to be a 4.7 ohm resistor. And it's 5.8. That's doing just fine. Now, PP5E1 charger VDD. I believe that's something that's supposed to internally come from the ISL. So why are you jumping up and down? Are you a bad ISL? What are you jumping up and down for? Are you shorted to ground, perhaps? Let's see, the ohms to ground, 447 on this side, 453 on that side. I wonder what I get on a donor for that same area. So I don't recall this being an issue more than like once, and that was a few years ago. Let's see if I have a donor board that has a CPU on it and all that good stuff. This has a CPU, but it's missing the ISL circuit. Missing circuit. There we go, CPU and ISL circuit. All right. Eric R says, I feel like I'm shorted to ground sometimes. I'm sorry to hear that, Eric. That must be quite painful. That doesn't sound like a lot of fun. So it looks like on a good donor board, we have a 215 kilo ohm resistance to ground. But on my board, we have a 400 ohm resistance to ground. Now this could mean one of two things. Behind door number 1, U7100 is bad. Behind door number 2, C7101 or C7100 are bad. because these are the only paths that we have to ground on PP5E1. So since I've already replaced the ISL, or someone else, I forget, the only thing left to replace is the two capacitors. I hope those boards don't fall on your head. I don't know if insurance will cover that. They're quite sharp. And so I'm going to flick those capacitors off the board. But I'm going to use a soldering iron to do it because I'm not violent like Jessa Jones is. She just likes to, smash capacitors off the board with a fucking ice pick and a hammer. Maybe she kind of gets her rocks off abusing capacitors. That's not me. That's not me, bro. I'm a kind, gentle soul. So I'm just gonna. I care about the pads on the board. I love pads. So we're just gonna remove them that way. And now we're gonna see if when I plug it in, if it works. And I plug it in and I still don't get a light. But that's okay. We're going to measure the resistance one more time. So we're going to measure the resistance again and see if we still have a resistance that is too high and too low. And it seems like we still have a 439 ohm resistance to ground there. So it's not the capacitor. So it could indeed be that the ISL that was put on there was a bad one. So now I'm going to remove the ISL 6259 and see if that fixes my short. Louis, thanks. You helped me repair my USB flash drive. Huh, what do we do? I don't remember doing anything on USB flash drives on the channel. I'm curious how we helped. I'm glad that we did. I'm not quite sure I can take credit for it. Now let's see what happens here. So it appears we still have a 500 ohm short to ground. Now this is interesting because there's no other place on the board that I can tell, to my knowledge, where this would even go. So what the fuck? Like, here, look, if we go back to the board view software, let's see what, is there something over here? Okay, so maybe there's some trace on the board over there under this transistor, but I don't see anything under there that's anything remotely bad. Nor do I even really see a probe point. And over here, I don't see shit either. So do we have a short inside the board on this specific section? And how can we have a short inside the board on that specific section when the board itself looks this clean? What is that? What is up with that? 500 ohms to ground with nothing on the line. Huh. That is bull. Why does it say millions of ohms over here? But what? So there's something interesting going on here. So over there, over here, I'm getting millions of ohms. And you can clearly tell that this is supposed to be interconnected. So something funny is going on here. So check this out. If I measure over here, my meter is giving me right now, actually, yeah, it's switching back and forth quickly between 600 ohms to millions of ohms. But over here, it's always 600 ohms. So I'm kind of wondering, do I really need these? Does it have to be connected? What side is this interconnected board short on? Can I scratch this away? Can I destroy this trace? Can I just kind of fuck it up? Pick it out? And be happy? And then attach the resistor between those two pins. So let's see if I can fuck this up. This is quite a thick trace to be digging out. Pull the resistor. Let's see what's on under the resistor, Chris. What line is this? This over here is the short circuit is on pins 19 and 20 of the U7100 chip. That's PP5E1 charger VDD, which to my knowledge is created by the ISL itself over here. Someone says I'd cut the trace and leave the via. Hey, nothing funky under the resistor. Well, I should probably be cutting this at the probe point. So we're just going to stab this little Apple board a little bit. This little Apple board should get stabbed a little bit. We're just going to stab this little Apple board a bit. We're going to stab him to death. Burn you away, you fuckface. Burn. Chop away and destroy. You know, it's really interesting because these probe points are so easily damaged by liquid, it's ridiculous. Like, you see how easily these things are destroyed. Yet when I'm actually scraping it with a piece of metal, it doesn't want to go away. What if I just pretend that it's a pad that I don't want to rip off? How about that? I'm going to pretend that this is a solder pad that I don't want to break. How about this? So we're going to do something like this. That was easy. Bam. All right. Wait. Die, fucker, die. Bye-bye, mother flower. Okay. Oh, well. Use a blade, use a katana, use a machete. Oh, lots of interesting input in the chat there. PP5E1 charger VDP is created by U7190. Uh-oh. And it's, wow. Alright, that would probably be the dumbest thing I've done on stream. Well, there's no erase button there. So let's see, why didn't that show up when I did my search? So I went PP5E1 charger VDD. Am I losing it? Let's see. If I take PP5E1 charger VDD and hit Control F, really, I get these two results, U and U. Yet if I scroll up over here, PP5E1 charger VDDP. Fucking really? Seriously. Really? Really, PDF reader? You've... Alright. Oh, that's fucked. Okay, let's see. Is the board... So... The fucking... The board view software too? Really? E2 open broad view? Oh, you bitch. You fucking bitch. Let's see. L7195. Why don't you show up? Oh, okay. So they call it PP5E1 bias in the board view. Really? 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 Really now? So this line, which is over here, which directly connects to this, has a different fucking name over here than it does over here in the board view software. Fucking cunt. Okay. Oh well. All right. Bullshit. Let's try this again. So obviously, short circuit is still going to be present because it's not inside the board. It's in this fucking chip over here. Duke has got to, if he's watching this, he's got to be laughing his ass off right now. He was screaming at the screen. I know he was screaming at the screen. No, what are you doing? You fucking American retard. Stop! 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 Well, that just means we have more wires to run now, doesn't it? Let me get a shield to put over the keyboard connect. Excuse me. 'Let's see if short circuit is gone. Poor Duke. If he's watching this, he has to be so angry right now. He's like, this guy doesn't represent me. Please don't assume that you're going to be getting this type of advice on the forum. He doesn't represent me. Jeez. Alright, so short is still there. Let's see if we remove the two output caps. $31 million ohms. Okay, so it was the output cap. So it was the output cap. Okay. So we go back and put this on. No, 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 no. You don't get to run away. If anybody wants to run away, it's me. And if I don't get to run away, then neither do you, mofo. Lewis, what do you tell the customer? It's fixed, or it's not fixed. Keep it. You like to keep it simple here. It's fixed. Yay! It's not fixed. Oh. Okay, let's grab a capacitor. And then we go on the fun journey of running little jumper wires. Just got here, can you start over? Lulz. That cap is too big. That cap is not the same. Zeros, yeah, that board view is about the accuracy of these board views. Alright. Let's try that again. 3787, no. That is most certainly a different capacitor on there. And the board view says there's two, but there's one. Let's see if the single CPU board is any different. See, if we were to take a look, on this board there's place for one capacitor, right? One capacitor. But when we look on this board view software, it clearly says for 00138, two capacitors. So someone's bullshitting here. And I'm pretty sure it's the board view software. So, since this is pretty much the same ISL circuit, and the same everything else, and since the board view and the schematic in this particular instance seem to be filled with complete bullshit, we are going to just put this capacitor there and make it be happy. No, no, no. Don't you run away from me. Don't you run away from me. Oh, no. Where do you think you're going? This is what the board view says goes there, bruh. I'm going to listen to my schematic and my board view that say that you're supposed to fit there. Yep. That's my good old Apple schematic and board view telling me the honest truth about how to fix this board. We're going to make you fit. You're going to go there. You... Let's lower the air a little. I hope you're not blaming Paul for hard-coding capacitor duplication into OBS. I'm fairly certain this is Paul. This is his way of getting back at me. If I had to guess, I would say that this is likely Paul's fault. Here, wait, we can just do it this way. Fuck it. I'll fit it between you and you. There we go. Bam. No, no. Here, I'll extend this pad. Fuck it. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Now I know how Bill Riley feels. There we go. Bam. But there we go, baby. There we go. To Apple fucking board view standards. Alright. Now for the fun part. Piece of shit board. Okay. Running some jumper wires under here. Bzzz. To fix what I destroyed. Okay. So. Did I leave enough that I can save myself? Let's see if enough is left of this little via that I can save myself. Perhaps. Oh, there you go. Bada bing, bada fucking boom. As profesh. Whoops, too short. Now to take an ISIL 6259, ISL 6259, and place it there. Does anybody know where to find the jumper wire that looks like Lewis in Europe? How do you expect the jumper wire to look like me? You mean you're gonna like wrap it around the floor or something? How good is the battery on your T520? I stopped using that a long time ago. The battery life is shit on that computer. Lenovo products typically don't have as good battery life as competitors, in my experience. And I haven't used all their models, but the ones I've used, you know, Lenovo does a lot of stuff right. Battery life isn't exactly one of them. I give Apple credit there for like stomping Lenovo when it comes to battery life. I really should change my soldering iron tip. This is a silly one to be using for this application. Adjust the camera, someone says. Okay. It's adjusted. There you go. Adjust it where? What would you like it to be adjusted to? Now we're going to take a resistor and the two caps and put them back. What a madman, I use alcohol or flux. Who's cleaning boards with lighter fluid? What the hell is wrong with you? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't listen to the madmen who are saying to do that. That's not a good idea. No. I don't want to be responsible for any of you going on fire. Well, okay. I have to pretend to not want to see any of you go on fire, I suppose. Okay, in a moment we'll see if this works. Nice and crooked, but this chip is soldered on as crooked as... crooked as... See if anybody can auto-complete that sentence. Now we're going to wait for it to cool off for a moment. Alright, so we can plug in a charger, and now we have a green light on the charger, which means it's probably giving us fan spin, and after that it's probably turning on. And as you can see, this looks completely factory fresh. Bro, that's how we do. That's how we does. That is factory fresh awesomeness right there. And bridge caps above ISL. Well, it's a good thing we have a YouTube audience. Let's... So there we are. Yeah. Probably my dumbest board repair video in a long time. So this board was no good because PP5V1 up here was shorted to ground by one of these capacitors. And I don't know if it was C7198 or C7199 because my board view over here has space for 2 of those capacitors. There is space for 2 of them on the board view software. When on the board itself, there is only room for, looks like, 1 of those capacitors. So I just took 1 capacitor and put it along there diagonally since it's also a larger size than what the other boards have, and that's pretty much that. I trust the schematic as much as I trust my representative from Time Warner, and as much as I trust Jessa Jones's iPhone repair mentor when he tells the world that the world is flat. I don't trust this one bit. So I thought the board had an internal short to ground because PP5E1 charger VDDP, when you paste it in here, it does not show you anywhere else to go to find it. Even when you delete the P at the end, it only shows it as showing up in either here or here. It doesn't show up over here because the schematic is dumb. And it doesn't show up in the board view because the board view also calls it something else. It calls it PP5E1 bias because the board view is dumb, but not as dumb as the person sitting in this chair, because the person sitting in this chair could have just zoomed out in the schematic and right here could have seen, oh, look, on the upper right corner of the page, there's this thing that's clearly related to what we're working on. And did I do that? No. I dug up the board and wasted 30 minutes of my time, which hopefully you won't do now that you watched me be an idiot. Let me be the idiot so that you don't have to be. And let's move on to the next one. The only thing more humiliating than this, the only thing worse than that, would be admitting that you believe that the earth is flat. The only thing worse So we move on to the next one now. And let's see what we got here. That was dumb. That was some dumb shit. I haven't done that in a while, though. I gotta say, it is fun to do that stuff on camera. There is something that is fun about trying to troubleshoot that on camera, completely fucking it up in front of an audience of hundreds of people, and then having to fix it on the spot because those hundreds of people know your company name and know that what you're doing is for an end customer. There's something about that that keeps it fun and interesting and honest. All right, next one on the list. Another A1398. We can see our own comments. Yep. What happened to the articulating microscope arm? That's on Jason's desk. All I got to get Jason is a TV and a TV wall mount so that he will have a space to work. So that's going to be Jason's space over here. And then this is my space over here. Do note that since Jason wasn't here the day we were moving, that Jason has the Weller and I have the Quick. But yeah, so Jason gets the articulating one. Sorry, Jason. Are you planning to release Drunk Lewis again on the channel? Perhaps. Perhaps. Maybe I'd make less dumb mistakes. And thank you to Galka Michael for the $1. Or Mikal, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. It has that European spelling to it. Europeans either have too few vowels or too many vowels, but it makes it more confusing to pronounce. Somebody with a bunch of symbols in their name asked a question that I have no idea how to respond to. Is that an anti-static pad? No, that is a baking pad. I never thought my dad would be a flat earther, says someone. Well, now you know. Now you know, baby. The more you know, bro. The more you know. Jessa Jones's mentor thinks that the Earth is flat. Jessa learned how to fix phones from somebody who thinks that the Earth is flat. Jessa now teaches phone repair at Practical Board Repair School. I wonder if Jessa Jones teaches at Practical Board Repair School that the Earth is flat. I wonder if she denies this. Does Jessa think the Earth is flat? If Jessa thinks the Earth is not flat, does this change her opinions and thoughts and ideas on how she learned how to do board repair, since it came from the flat Earth? You would still recommend ThinkPads over Apple? Yes. I'm going to have a video on that shortly. Actually, be right back. One moment. I almost forgot something. Sorry, gotta put you on mute. 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 That's not mute. So this is going to have its own separate video, but check this out. So as you all know, when I did my Lenovo P50 review, and you can search it on the channel and find it, when I did that review, I poured about a quart of water into the laptop. Now, I didn't pour a quart of water into the laptop while it was off or while it was just on a browser page. I poured a quart of water into the laptop while it was running Prime 95 and boiling and using the CPU at 100% power. I was stressing it, and I kept stressing it for about a minute or two afterwards, so that Prime 95 was on and the board was on, and it was doing all this work, all the CPU intensive work after the water spill. Now, a few months in, not immediately, but a few months in, it started randomly crashing on me. So I opened up a ticket with Lenovo, and I said the machine is, randomly crashing on me. I sent it in for the estimate, and I figured that they were going to call me up and say this, it's going to cost you $500 or $900 to replace the CPU and the system board and everything because you spilled a quart of water into it. I thought I was going to have a chance to talk to them. Lenovo never called me, and they never emailed me. But you know what they did? They fixed it under fucking warranty. So over here it says, right over here it says parts. So they replaced the system board with the CPU. They replaced a cable. They replaced a palm rest assembly with touchpad, and they replaced the keyboard. So they replaced a quad-core Xeon CPU, which is fucking expensive, the mobile one. They replaced the entire motherboard. They replaced everything inside this computer for fucking free. And this is, I didn't even buy a new one. I bought a refurbished. So that's a refurb P50. They never even called me to say, oh, yeah, this is the issue, blah, blah, blah. It's going to take this long to fix. I sent it into them on Monday because they send you a box with a label. They don't expect you to send it to them. They sent me a box with a label, FedEx overnight. Then I sent it to them. They got it on Tuesday. They fixed it on Wednesday. They shipped it back, and I got it on Thursday. They never called. They never emailed. They just replaced everything. Everything. And this is not even like, this is legit just tossing a quart of water into the computer while Prime 95 is running. You think Apple's going to do that for you? Do you think Apple's going to do that for you? Fuck no. No. See, there's a reason that I don't fix Lenovo machines. You know why I don't fix Lenovo machines? Because Lenovo takes care of their customers. They may have a very shitty design team that fucked up the ThinkPad Retro. I'm not letting the design team off the hook that decided to butcher what makes the user interface great. Nor am I letting them off the hook for some of the issues with the IdeaPad series or the gaming IdeaPad series. But when it comes to their actual professional line, the T series, the W series, the P series, and the high-end X series, they make really durable stuff, really liquid-resistant stuff. And when you do abuse the crap out of it and it fails, that's what they do. So anyway, let's just move back on to this. This is an 820-3662. It appears to be dead, and we're going to try and figure out why. Now, 90% chance this is bad. This is dead because of a bad CPU, as all these Haswell sissies are, since we are getting a green light. If an iPad gets water damage, would the board be fried? Most likely, yes. Volume up, Lewis. Turn up your volume. I was about to say Apple would stick their dick up your ass and call it good for you. That's probably about what Apple would do. That's pretty accurate. Yep. So let's see. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the PP Bus G3 Hot resistance to ground. PP Bus G3 Hot is the rail that ends up powering the CPU. And 99% of the time on this board, that is shorted to ground because the CPU MOSFET shorted to ground, which then killed the CPU. And this board is no different. I have learned a lesson when it comes to the 820-3662 and the 820-3787 that when there's a 0 ohm short on PP Bus G3 Hot, there's no point in even taking the screws out. It's always shorted through the CPU. These Haswell CPUs are a joke, and these MOSFETs as well are shit. Lewis, 6 months ago, I thanked you by mail for your video on iPhone repair, VCC main short. You replied kindly, now thanks to you, I find myself fixing phones, MacBooks, and iPads for a living. Thanks. Well, I'm really glad I helped you learn your phone repair. That sounds awesome. This sounds a lot lower than it was previously. What's up with that? Let's see. What's up with that? Check. Huh. Am I lower than I was before? Am I? Oh, man. Does look like I'm lower than I was before. What? Did I hit a button that I wasn't supposed to hit? I was muted. Huh. Wait, so I was muted. How is that lower? That's nothing. That's interesting. It shouldn't have been lower. You should have been hearing nothing. Well, let's figure out what the hell just happened. Huh. Check. It seems like it's good now. I hope. You let me know if I screwed something up. Should I take this apart to confirm it's the CPU? I feel like that would be a waste of time. Here we go. Yeah, it is. I can see that there's corrosion on the CPU area, so I'll show you that, and then we'll move on to something that is not a waste of time. So if we look by the CPU MOSFETs, you'll see that there are signs of liquid damage and corrosion that somebody attempted to clean. This is going to be a complete and utter waste of time. PP-bus G3 hot is the rail that's shorted to ground. Now these transistors, they take PP-bus G3 hot and they chop it up into pulses that then get evened out by these coils that then go to the CPU that powers the CPU. And these little transistors, when they screw up, they send a little bit too much 12 volts to the CPU. And when they send too much 12 volts to the CPU winds up being dead. And that's what's happening here. So this board can rest in peace. So when you have 820, 3787s, and 3662s that have anything like that by the CPU area, and PP-bus G3 hot is shorted to ground, don't waste your time, don't waste your day. It's not going to work. It's going to be a waste of time. Let's move this camera. Here we go. Got a view of the desk. Bam. So that's a piece of shit. If you bring it to Apple, would they do what Lenovo did? Something tells me they wouldn't do what Lenovo did. Something tells me that they'd tell you to go fuck yourself. But that's just me. Okay, let's see what's wrong with this one. This one's dead. We're going to try and figure out why this one's dead. Yeah, 536 viewers. Look at that. What is your honest opinion on Asus hardware? Most of their laptops seem to be the same disposable shit that everybody else's is. Like, you could swap out, in my experience, you could swap out Toshiba, Acer, Asus, HP, the really low-end Lenovo, like the IdeaPads, all that crap, Gateway. They're all, in my experience, they're all equally shitty. I would even dare to say they're all made in the same room. Now, the really high-end ones, the $2,000 ones, they may be different, but in my experience, they're all the same shit with, the crappy bases, that the screen hinges are screwed into the base so cheaply that it winds up, when you move it back and forth, you wind up cracking the base so that the hinge can't screw into it anymore, and the base winds up costing half what the laptop did. They're all, my experience, all the Asuses I've seen are shit in that way. There's nothing really special about them. Okay, so the first thing I do when I don't get a light in the charger is I look at the DC-in cable that attaches the DC-in board to the machine to see if there's any sign of damage, since the DC-in board is what's going to allow the charger to communicate with the SMC on the main logic board. And if we look, I see is a corrosion. Acer laptops, good or shit? I mean the 450 ones. Oh, shit. What I would do is I would get a used business laptop instead. You know, buy Lenovo, like a 2-year-old T450 will do you way better than a new Acer or Asus shit machine or a Toshiba or HP. You may not get the nicest specs, but you'll get something that's actually going to last you. Let's see what the DC-in board looks like itself. So you can also see that the DC-in board is entirely burned inside of here at the top. So this is no good. This is going to keep us from being productive. Let's see. Can I just take that plastic and toss that shit out? Okay, it seems like I can just toss that out. Bam. Okay, now we plug it back in. And let's see if that's good enough for a light. Nope, no light. All right, let's see. Can we cheat a little bit here? So you may notice that the one-wire circuit is over here. So those two chips that we were looking at before, U7000 and U7001. So this chip is going to allow the charger to talk to the SMC. Excuse me. And this chip is going to send power to that. So let's take a look and see what voltages we're getting on there. Because there may actually be a way to jerry-rig this. There may be a fun way to jerry-rig this. We're going to jerry-rig this. So we get 1.8 volts to 1.9 volts. Let's see if the multimeter is visible on screen. I'll put the multimeter up here so you can see it. I really got to find myself a USB multimeter. I don't want to wind up giving up and buying that shit Uni-T. But I probably will. And you can see that we get 1.4 volts, or PP3V42 is supposed to be there. However, on the motherboard itself, we get 3.42 volts. So, well, I'll show you a hack. Just this one time. I mean, obviously, you could replace the DC-in board and the DC-in board cable, but I'll show you a hack. Just in case you don't have one and you want to know what you can do. So the first thing, without having to order a part. So what you could do is you could find PP3V42 on the motherboard. And then we can send it over to the DC-in board. So one thing you may notice is that these two chips on the DC-in board, which are not on the schematic, because keep in mind the schematic only covers the motherboard, not other parts of the computer, they look awfully similar to U7000 and U7001. So if we were to look at the schematic, we have U7000, which is going to be this one, and U7001, which is going to be this one. So this is the same general concept. It needs PP3V42 to be present here, so that it could send that PP3V42 to here, so the charger can talk to the SMC. So we need 5 volts to be present on PP3V42 on pin 5 of the connector. So let's see if we can pull a little trick here and send PP3V42 to pin 5 of the connector by means of a bodge wire. So that if you need your MacBook to work right now and you have a soldering iron and a wire, but you don't have a DC-in board, let's just showcase this little hack. So we're going to find PP3V42 on the board. And it looks like I can find PP3V42 on the JTAG connector, which, by the way, has corrosion. So we're just going to be what? JTAG? What? Doesn't Dave's new one have development Bluetooth? A, I don't have Bluetooth, and B, development means doesn't exist yet. So, those are two things. So, first thing we got to do here before we get anything else done. Someone said, since when are you leaving JTAGs on boards? Since when do I leave JTAGs on boards? Die, JTAG. Die! You gon' get fucked up. Uh-huh. No JTAG for you. Let's just get rid of those JTAG pads as well. Except for the ones that are used for those little pull-up resistors for some BIOS thing. We'll keep those. But the rest of those pads, get the fuck out of here. Alright, they're gone. They're gone. Now we can... So this is a hack that you can do if you'd like. It's a simple little hack. We're going to take PP3V42. And we're going to send it there. I believe that this will work. I believe I can fly. I believe one wire can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my JTAG and fly away. I believe I can soar. Keep it coming through that DC and board. Duke says they will both turn on without a green light. That is correct. The 2013 through 15 Air will turn on without a green light. By the way, Duke, do not rewind the stream. Do not watch the second board repair, please. Please do not watch it for the sake of my dignity. I would highly appreciate if you skipped over that. Or if you haven't skipped over it, can you at least give me the courtesy of pretending that you did, just so that we can, you know, maintain some dignity. Oh, that is a pretty JTAG. Look at them missing pins. I feel good about that. Looking at that broken JTAG gives me a nice sense of happiness in the inside. Okay, let's plug in that corroded ass DCN cable and see if our hacksaw works. And of course the hacksaw does not work because we need more than just PP3V42. We also need SMC BCACOK. So we now have PP3V42. And we have SMC BCACOK. And adapter sense in one wire is 3 volts, but we don't have a light, which means that the one wire trace is probably broken too. Which means I should just stop being cheap and just get a new DCN board. Let's just stop being idiots and try a different DCN cable. For fuck's sake. Oh, and there's still no light. Okay. Perhaps the SMC is in reset mode. We get 8.1 volts. Okay, bro. Does that mean that your SMC is in reset mode? It sure seems like it is, because PP bus G3 hot is 8.15 volts. Now, if we measure PP bus G3 hot, you'll see 8.19, 8.15. Same shit. It means the SMC is off and not working. So now we got to figure out why that is. So let's take a look at the circuitry that's going to control that. And my screen's going to look a little fucked up here because I have the Seiki. Instead of buying a real monitor, I bought a Seiki, and every now and then it goes from 4K to 1920 by 1200, and I can't fix it unless I restart the computer or unplug the display port and plug it back in. That's what you get for being an early adopter and buying something from Seiki instead of Sony or LG or Samsung. What are you going to do? Well, so if we check the SMC, remember the charger has to talk to the SMC in order for it to turn on. Now the charger is the SMC is going to turn on when this signal called SMC reset L is present. Because remember, _L means present when low. So if we look up I think it's 5110 or something like that. Not 5110, but close to that. Is it 5110? Yeah, here we go, 5110. So on U5110, we need, first leave this pull-up resistor, R5100, to be good, because that's going to pull up SMC reset L to a nice 3.42 volts. We need U5100 to not be corroded so that it isn't going to pull SMC reset L down. We need the SMC to be good so that it doesn't pull SMC reset L down. We need trackpad reset L to be high. We need SMC on off L to be high so it doesn't think the power button's always on. And we need SMC manual reset L to be high so that it doesn't think that I'm trying to tell the SMC to manually reset itself. So let's go and take a look at what U5110 looks like. My TV reset to 1920 by 1200.
Oh.
Seeky. It's a Seeky. So if we look at my SMC reset chip, you'll see that there's poop on it. Now, pin 5 of this chip is supposed to be my SMC reset signal. So let's see what we get on pin 5. And pin 5 gives me 3.396 volts. So even though SMC reset is high, I'm getting the 8.15 volts on PP-Bus G3 hot, which would indicate that the SMC ain't on. So let's take out the board because I have a feeling there's going to be a big lump of corrosion on the other side of it. Duke hasn't said anything. That means he's rewinding the video. Duke, don't rewind the video. Duke, don't rewind the video. What kind of a display did you get? I have a Seeky, the 30 hertz piece of crap that I got in 2014, and then I have this Seeky Pro, which is not a Pro at all because it uses PWM to adjust brightness control. So if I address brightness control from the TV instead of using Windows software, it flickers. But also the random disconnect bullshit. Like this monitor sucks. This monitor sucks balls. Let's see. Let's turn it off. Turn it on again. And then after turning it on again, plug it in. Let's see. Do I get a 4K 60 hertz link or a 1920 by 1200? Yeah, don't buy Seeky ever. I've learned my lesson. $1920 by 1200. You piece of shit monitor. Okay. I'll have to restart my computer. We can do that after the stream, though. I'll live with 1920 by 1200. This will probably be the last machine. Paul, your software, Paul, is the reason that I had to rip up a board trace before that was not the right one. I ripped up a board trace because I thought that it didn't go someplace that it went. And your software also added 2 capacitors to a board that only had 1. Your software. Your fault. Your problem. I can't be friends with Paul Daniels anymore. If I remain friends with him, it'll make it harder to scapegoat him for my stupidity. Definitely worth the rewind. Don't rewind. Come on. Why do you all want to rewind? Why do you all want to see the bad stuff? Everybody oh God. Okay, so I snapped my DCN board wire, but that's fine. We needed to replace that shit anyway. I can't reuse that. So if we were to take a look at what my SMC area looks like, you may notice that it looks like cock and also balls. So let's just take this, flow it over, and oh, hi, little SMC. Well, there you go. This could possibly be the reason that I don't have a green light. That is the chip that the charger talks to, so that it can work. And it looks like shit. Change resolution on Windows. Nope, that won't work. It'll only see 1920 by 1200 as top resolution. The only way to fix is reboot. Reboot. So we're going to give the SMC a reflow, a rehot bro, a reflow bro, rehot flow bro, and just put a little bit of flux around the SMC. See you later, Tarman. Why the constant potty mouth? Why? Why is it always necessary? Yes, I know nobody's forcing me to watch. That's not the point. Actually, it kind of is the point. Indeed, nobody is asking you to watch. I think this be the wrong show for you. Okay, so... I'm sick and tired of vulgarity. I'm sick and tired of a whiny chat. Bye-bye. And now there's a less whiny chat. Look at how that worked out. Ah. Let's see. Maybe I could curse less. But crying in chat gets annoying after a while. One of the things that encouraged me to curse more when doing videos was, I remember, I'm never going to forget this. This one person emailed me saying, I'd like to use your how-to videos to help teach my class, but I can't because you curse in them. So would you be able to curse less so that I could use my videos for this class? And then I asked the person what type of class it was. And this was, I thought this may have been, you know, some like 6th or 8th grade thing, right? I thought maybe it would be some 6th or 8th grade, you know, after-school activity thing, because what the hell, where the hell else are you going to use what I'm showing you here? You know, it's not like you're going to teach an engineering course with this. And it was actually some type of college course. And I said, you know, so what are you looking for? You know, just like one clip? He's like, no, I just wanted to be able to go through your playlist, but a censored version. So I'm thinking to myself, wait, so you're getting paid $40,000 to $80,000 to be a professor, and you want to make that $40,000 to $80,000 by like going to YouTube.com, putting on a projector and hitting play? Like, no, screw that. And I think after that I wound up cursing about 3 times as much in every video. It was an effective way to ensure that people had to actually come up with their own lesson plans. I thought that was hilarious, and it's funny because it's what makes these things the most funny is the disconnect between someone's what someone's expected response is versus what my response is. I think that's what makes some of these things funny. Can you please just redo how you do your channel so that I can use your stuff to teach my class? No. I may get 10 to 20 bucks of ad revenue per video, and that's fine. But I'm not getting 10 to 20 bucks of ad revenue per video so that you can teach your class as a tenured professor of something. F that. Balls to that, I would say. There's also very little way to do this kind of stuff over and over and over and over and over again without a little bit of cursing inside. Microscopic balls that run away, and this is what's happening at real tech shops that work on your stuff. I'm just kind of being honest about it. How could you not curse working on Apple products? Tell me how. Well, there's that. If I was nice, I'd replace that LED driver. That's probably going to fail. Yeah, what the hell am I thinking reflowing that? You should add some free Tibet links to your content to keep Chinese from copying it. That's a good idea, too. This chat always gives me some good ideas. Now to get an LED driver. I agree. But sometimes I have no idea what my staff is saying. I can only imagine that they're saying something like, fuck that asshole in his YouTube videos. Fuck that douchebag in his back office room. I hope something terrible happens to him. That's all I could guess. You never know. Maybe it's something nice. Maybe it's, what can we get Lewis for his birthday on the 19th? Maybe that's what they're saying. Maximum Edition asks, is that a Russian girl? Did you assume her gender? Oh crap, I think I just assumed her gender. Oh shit, we're both in trouble now, bro. Okay. We're both in trouble now, baby. Lewis needs to be investigated for Russian collusion. Perhaps that was it. Maybe she was the one that spent money on Facebook ads. Collusion! I colluded with the Russians to purchase schematics and board views during the 2016 election. We gotta use more air next time. It was harder to make it dance. Paul, C7771. Paul Daniels. Are you using the original C7771 or have you replaced it with a non-tantalum? Tell me C7771 has been replaced. That is the... Paul is having an issue with an 820-2330. Do you still sell 3M tape? I haven't sold that tape in 4 years. It was a little too consumer. I try to avoid selling anything that a consumer would buy because then you have to do customer service on it. And it's fine to do customer service on services at $200 to $400, but it's not good doing customer service on stuff that costs $12. So back when I was selling the adhesive, I was doing customer service for like 40 minutes on the phone with people that couldn't figure out how to make a MacBook bezel stay. But that was customer service when they had spent like $12, so I got rid of that. That had to go, I'm afraid. I'm sure there's other people that sell adhesive. That will go and deal with the... Thanks to your reviews and soldering decisions, I've made a good decision to go for a proper one instead of cheap shit. Yeah, cheap shit isn't always terrible. I mean, I'm using my quick as cheap shit. I guess it depends on your definition of cheap. All right. Light me up, baby. Really? Nothing? Really? Alright, what is PP Best G3 Hot showing me? PP Best G3 Hot is 8.19, so there's a good chance that that SMC is dead from all the corrosion that it had on it, which means that this most likely does need an SMC replacement if I am going to have a green light. Either that or... let's see. Just before we do that. Just before we give up and go for the SMC replacement. What's up with this? Because I believe there's something that's supposed to be there. What's up there? What's that? It looks like something's missing. So if I go over here... Yes, PP3V3S5 SMC. There's supposed to be an inductor there. There is an inductor that's supposed to be over here that takes PP3V42 and sends it to the SMC. And that inductor is not here. And this entire... oh man, this is gross. Alright, so... damn, this is fucked. So what do we do? What do we do? Paul, is the rail that you just mentioned 0.316 volts instead of 1.05? If so, replace C7771 with a non-tantalum. Or you can just heat it up to test if that's your issue real quick. Alright, so where is this leading into the chip? Huh. Suppose I can just... Man, this is hard. That is bad. You resolder cap joints too. Okay, okay. Makes you happy. Cheers from Israel. Hello to Idan. Hope I pronounced your name right there. Alright, so we're going to do a little bit of jerry-rigging here. We're going to do some serious jerry-rigging. So we're going to grab PP3V42 from a surrounding area, bring it to an inductor up here, and solder. Now, this pad is gone on the board, so check it out. This is the pad that we need, and this is clearly gone. That's this thing over here. But that pad goes to this. So what I'm thinking is I'm just going to solder one end of the inductor to here, and then the other is going to get soldered to, well, nothing, I suppose, a wire that grabs PP3V42 from another part of the board. Excuse me. Looks like the board had the Genius Bar process that has covered it with corrosion. Probably. I wonder if Twitch is working. Twitch says error 5000, content not obvious. Give up on that. Be right back, going back to fix C7771 before Lewis finds another hidden feature bug in his board views. That's pretty. I got no problems with that. Oh shit. I should have been grabbing that with the tweezer. I wanted to make it a little more secure, and I wound up screwing it up. Nah, come on back. Hello to Nasuno Ral. What are you using to stream to Twitch? I'm using Restream. But I keep... Okay. You know, if I turn this around, it would make a lot more sense and be easier to do, considering the shape of the soldering iron tip. I think that's what I'm going to do. The right pad of that inductor goes to a via that goes straight onto the SMC. Well, that would suck. That would mean that this is entirely and utterly useless. That is some burned away stuff. I wonder if I can put a solder ball in there and make a pad. Let's see. I think I could drop a solder ball in that hole. Indeed, Chris Long, indeed. This is my ESD safe cooking sheet for anybody who's wondering. Shizzle. Go Paul Daniels. You did a good job, man. This is janky. That is so janky. Oh God, that's janky. Nothing. Let's see. Is PP3V4 too shorted to ground? It seems to be, so that means I did something silly with my wire. So, where did I do something silly with my wire? Is it, if I take this off, does that make any difference? Or is it this fuck shit over here? Ah, it's probably this thing. More likely it's this, by my JTAG. There we go, 5.8 kiloohms. Let's reattach this. That Okay, now PP3V42 should not be shorted. Same thing. It's not that wire because it's still 1 ohm. So it's got to be something I did here that's shorting PP3V42 to ground. But what? Under pin 2 of L5001 is the via that leads to the SMC. Yeah, but right now PP3V42 is shorted to ground, so I got to figure that one out. I think this is soldering PP3V42 to ground over here. Maybe that's what I did. Let's take this thing apart and try again. Alright, so PP3V42 right now is not shorted to ground. Okay, so let's just take this. The bottom track that goes up to the left pad that is missing. Okay, the bottom track. Let's just move this shit for a moment. Wait, so I soldered it directly to ground instead of soldering it directly to the SMC via. I did, didn't I? Once I move this cap, I'll know for sure. If that's what I did. Okay, so I didn't. So what the? No, I'm really confused. Huh. Okay, let's do a little bit of testing here. So, first question, is this under here ground? Survey says yes, it is. Is this ground? Survey says no, it's not. Oh, so that's a layer below. So I actually dug to ground. Okay, cool. So when I was digging over here, thinking I was getting PP3V3S5SMC, so check this out. I was over here thinking that this goes here and then there. So when I dug over here, I thought that I was digging to PP3V3S5SMC, and I actually dug to ground. All right, so let's dig in here and see what happens. All right. This is BS. Oh, this is BS. What if I just try attaching it directly to there? I mean, did I do that already? Yeah, let's just try attaching it directly to there. What to this capacitor? Maybe that'll work fine. What if the V is under the cap? If it is, then that would actually fix everything. suppose I have to rerun my PP3v42 bodge wire as well now. You're probably right, Philip, but I gotta see for myself. Alas, Philip is indeed correct. So I do need to dig under pin 2 of L5001 to find a via that's most likely not going to be there. So under pin 2 there should be a via, but unfortunately that's probably gone. Like, watch, I'm going to dig a little bit more. Oh wait, I see copper. Oh hi! Hello, copper! Please don't be ground. Please don't be ground, little copper. Alright, here we go. I dug and I struck copper. Let's put a solder ball in there. Look at that. Orange light. Fan spin. That is just... This is janky. That is janky. That is so janky. Let's see. Can I make it look less janky? Should I even try? Is the process of making this look less janky, is that process something that's going to kill what I did? Most likely. Yes, it will. But let's see if we can make it look a little nicer. Alright, so hopefully I didn't rip anything up there. Janky. Janky. So janky. This is... like, that is what I'm trusting. Alright. So, that is it for today, folks. We have finished. As always, I hope that you learned something. And thank you for joining me again. I'm going to be doing hopefully more and more of these videos now that I have my office back. I still got to do just a little bit of cleaning, a little bit of rearranging. I really do got to find myself a USB multimeter that doesn't use this RS-232BS and find some place to put the second camera, get an HDMI port in the second camera that works. But we are close to having a nice workable setup again, and I will be excited to go back to doing my regular live streams now that Jason, Paul, and I each have a station to work from, and we don't have to kick each other off the stations in order to use them. This should be really good stuff. My next video is going to be having a giveaway, so do watch out for that. We are going to be doing a giveaway of something here at the store that I've upgraded recently, of something I don't need anymore. Security camera based, so... just burn the enamel off the wire. Why do you gotta mention that right at the end, man? Duke is such a buzzkill. Let's see. Okay. Why do you got... let's see. Is Duke right? Okay. Let's see. So, is this... let's put the multimeter in beeping mode. I'm just about to leave. Oh, let me clean this out of the... Alright, so... beep. Beep. No beep. No beep. Fuck. Mother. Damn it. See, this is why you never go for perfection. Had I just left well enough alone, I'd still have enamel on my wire. Alright. Redo. Mother flower. Redo. You can't spell redo without re. Jeez. How I feel at the moment. Re. I can't get over how shitty that looks. I gotta add some flux. That's a joke. I need some flux. I broke my wire off. Roar. I broke my wire again, didn't I? Nope, nope, that's good. Re as in iPad rehab? Close but no cigar, my friend. Close but no cigar. Re as in something else. Re as in what my YouTube comments look like. And crap, I just pulled that off, and fuck. God damn it. Shit. Balls. This is why I curse, man. This is why I curse. The person that said, Lewis, why do you gotta curse in these... God damn it! Yeah, I just tore that out, didn't I? Let's see. No, okay. This is why cursing occurs. Oh. Grab a solder ball. Toss it in the bins. Start all over again. Start all over again. Okay, that's nice and pushed down on the board. Now, I don't think there's anything melted off the enamel there, and I should probably use the screwdriver to hold this thing down this time as I remove my wire excess. Route this wire in a sexy manner. Bam. Alright. It'd be tragic if the V is now dead. Paul, you keep your mouth shut. Paul. No, we got spinner. We got spinning. Oh, RTC resetting, but spinning. Light. Bye. No more trolling from any of you. So, I'm out of here. Time for some food.